This is going to be a bit of a short video. Do you make or do you take a photograph? Personally, for me, all these sort of semantics and things about words, they don't bother me. As you well know, I use whats and joules interchangeably, just like that. I don't care. But I think the intent is important. And it's one of those things which really made me change my outlook on my photography and definitely helped me go from sort of local jobbing photographer to global campaigns. That's definitely one of the big shifts. When I started out in photography, I was taking photographs. I worked as a documentary photographer, a portrait photographer. I took a photograph of what I saw. The world was around me. I chose what I wanted to show, and I showed that. I took it. Nowadays, I make photographs. I start from scratch. Every time I do a shoot, as a bit of a ritual now, if anything, ritual, obsession, I don't know. I take the first frame with the lighting off. Now, if you know about studio lighting, you'll know what I'm getting here is a pitch black frame in my studio. No matter what's going on in here, pitch black frame. And that reminds me up here that whatever the photograph is that I'm about to do, I'm making it. Not only am I building the set, I'm not, someone else is, but not only are we building a set and styling the content and all the rest of it and choosing the colors and choosing what's in there, the whole thing is then lit by me as well. The image doesn't exist until we've put our little magic dust on it. And that's why I now make a photograph. Now, one is not better than the other. They're two different things. If you're a wedding photographer, you're going to be taking photographs for the most part. Yeah, you might make some as well, but then you've got limited things. But as a studio photographer, I remember people going, oh, studio photography is boring. It's so clinical. It's so this. It's so... I'm like, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Studio photography is the most creative in that sense, because what you get to do is start with nothing and create an entire world. Just whatever's in your head, you can make it. Now, there's a different side to it in that I'm stuck in these four walls here all day, whereas when I was a documentary photographer, I was out and about shooting all over the place, meeting interesting people and capturing stuff, but I could only capture what was there. I could only take what was there. Now I can make what I want. And the difference for me psychologically is huge. Just that little like, yeah, I'm making a photograph today. I'm making something. I'm making it from scratch. This is artwork. This is my creative vision. This is what I want the world to be. One is not better than the other, of course. They're just two different things. And I think you need to really... I just find that sometimes it's worth reminding yourself as to what it is you're doing. Because, you know, I've been doing this for what, 17 years, 18 years? It's very easy just to fall into the habit of going, yeah, going into work today, shooting a campaign, off we go. I found myself recently just driving up to some studio in the middle of London, getting out the car and just going like, yeah, we're just doing another campaign today. I was like, no, we're not. We're not. And I had to stop myself. We're not just doing another campaign today. We're making some images. What we're going to have at the end of the day doesn't exist right now. We're going to create the whole thing, and it's all in my control. I'm going to shoehorn in a bit of extra advice I was given many years ago when I first started food photography here, because I think it's kind of relevant and it will never make its own video. When you're shooting something, your main goal is to make it look good. Now, this advice was given to me by a guy called Howard Shooter, who's got a studio in Camden, very good photographer, been in the food world for, well, he was probably shooting before I was born. He said to me, when I started food photography, the most important thing is that the food looks nice. And it sounds so obvious. When you're doing a portrait, the main thing is that the person looks nice. Now, nice is not always the same thing. Sometimes you want to look dirty and disgusting, or you want to make them look out, but you've got to focus on the subject you're photographing, not on the technicalities, not on, oh, should we feather this light a bit more? Would that make... Your lighting, your camera, your tech, it makes this much difference. Making the subject look good, that's the winner. That's what matters. So between those two bits of advice, making your subject look good, are you making or taking the photograph? That intent when you're going out there, I think it's great. It's great to remind yourself, and it's great just to keep yourself in that sort of position of knowing what it is you're doing, especially if you've been doing it for a while like me. You forget, you go on autopilot now and again. I've done a year before on autopilot, just going through the motions. I'm like, yeah, we're making bank. Let's just keep going. And you have to, also remind yourself how lucky we are. How lucky are we? Even if you're doing it as a hobby, it's not your career yet. How lucky are we that we get to create stuff all the time? Parts of the world, they do not have any brain space at all to be able to go, yeah, maybe I'll create something cool today, because they've got all sorts of chaos going on and bad things. I live in a world where I can go, yeah, today I'm going to spend a substantial amount of cash to make something for me. Just for me. That's a real privileged position to be in. And I think we should always remind ourselves of that and just say, yeah, you know what? Life's pretty good. I am creating something just for the sake of creating it. Or I'm going to go and take an observation of the world just so I can show people how I see the world. And it's such a blessed, I don't like to say blessed, I'm not a religious guy, but it's a very blessed position to be in. And I think we should not forget that.